Leaders of Tomorrow, 18-hour special initiative that celebrates the undying entrepreneurial spirit of micro, small and medium enterprises. On the show today, on our Insights segment, we're featuring a conversation with Ananya Birla. On Bright Sparks tonight, we're featuring tech and training corporate solutions and Toshin. The word serial entrepreneur are not something that we would normally associate with a 22-year-old, but Ananya Birla definitely knows a thing or two about starting out and starting out early, starting in fact her first venture at age 22 from a microfinance company to a curated lifestyle website to now turning an artist. She juggles multiple things and juggles them pretty well. I caught up with her earlier to ask her how she manages so many things and what tips she could possibly give our viewers listening. Let me start by talking to you about the fact that you're a very young entrepreneur. At about 17, if I'm not mistaken, you started your microfinance institute. What has that experience been like? What has that experience taught you?
It's been a very beautiful journey and it has taught me a lot. I think a huge thing that it has taught me is that there's so much inequality in our country that we have to, as a whole, do something about it, and that's why microfinance seemed like the best fit, because I love startups and it addressed a cause that I'm very close to, which is inequality. So yeah, I mean, also one more thing I learned is that I used to go on these field visits, right? And these women were so enterprising. Like, they knew exactly what they wanted, they knew exactly what loan amount they wanted. They were so on it at all times. So they have to like raise their children, they have to like take care of their family, they have to like go into their farmhouse and do stuff, and plus they have their own businesses to run. So it's just that they inspired me, just showing me that anything is possible, that I can manage how much ever I want to manage. So yeah, I learned a lot from them, and from, of course, I mean, as an entrepreneur you learn a lot of different skills in terms of technical skills and soft skills, just people skills and things like that. So that obviously comes along with being an entrepreneur.
Okay, but starting at 17, was starting so early, was it a benefit, was it a disadvantage in hindsight? How do you look back on that?
A benefit for sure, yeah. So at that time I would have days where I would come home and I would be like just banging my head thinking like, this is not working out, what am I doing, why am I doing this? Because I was doing it all by myself, and I had requested my parents not to get involved because I wanted to do it myself. But now, retrospectively, I think it was one of the best decisions that I have ever taken.
Okay, so let me come back to that in terms of, asking your parents for that freedom, if I can call it that, to do what you were interested in. But let me come back to microfinance and ask you, since the time you started out in the field of microfinance, there's been, of course, a lot of regulation, government policies change, etc. Are you happy with the kind of changes we've seen? And
very, very happy. I'm super happy. When I was starting, just before I started, the Maligram committee came in and they made a few changes. There was a new license that they sort of gave out where you couldn't have an interest rate above a certain amount. So that, I think, and there were many different other reforms. I think that structured the industry quite a bit. And now with all these licenses, so Bandhan getting the universal, the bank license, and SFBs coming in, and mobile wallets coming in, I think we're moving towards an economy which is going to become completely cashless. So I think we're at the right place at the right time when it comes to Swatantra and microfinance. And I think that we're doing very well for ourselves as an industry.
But do you think that technology, and for example, you're talking about mobile wallets, do you think technology is really going to benefit that section of society?
Absolutely. So I think it's a mix of technology and literacy. So at Swatantra, for example, I can talk from my point of view. So for example, when we switched completely to cashless disbursements and collections, we had to explain the entire process to them. So it wasn't as easy as ye karna hai aapko ho jayega. They weren't very ready to move towards cashless because you can't really see it, right? Cash is king in that sense. So we really had to sort of convince them and try to tell them what the benefits were. So yeah.
Okay, you were saying something interesting earlier that your parents kind of allowed you to do what you wanted to do. We've been doing a series of interviews on the Leaders of Tomorrow where we're talking to second and third generation entrepreneurs about why perhaps it is essential for you to find your own path in that sense. How has that experience been for you?
I mean, the way I see it is that if you're passionate about something, you should just go for it, just go for your dreams. So if someone happens to be passionate about something at that stage that their father or their mother is doing, then get involved. Absolutely get involved. In this case, what it happened to be in my case is that I really happened to be passionate about microfinance, which my father was not into at that time.
Okay, talk to us about CuroCart.
CuroCart is something that's very close to my heart again. So it's an e-commerce platform, and we procure products from different parts of the world. Our designers, in-house designers, transform the products to make it available and appropriate for a contemporary 21st century household. That's basically CuroCart. We provide you with luxurious handmade products from all around the world, and we have also now started a B2B channel. So we have many clients who have asked us, who we've pitched to, and they've sort of loved our products, and we have sold our products to them and all of that stuff. So I think CuroCart is going very well. When I started it, because it's in the luxury realm and because it's in e-commerce and the price points are very high, I sort of knew that in terms of B2C, which happens to be the platform, maybe it doesn't do as well initially. But that wasn't really the case. I think it picked up quite well, and our B2B is doing really well as well.
So how does music sort of help you connect with what you're doing in terms of your profession, and at the same time give you a diversion from that?
So I think music for me is a profession also now. It is a career path for me, and I've launched, my single is launching on the 13th. So it is a career path. I think it's good for both my left brain and my right brain, because they both get used. And I'm passionate about both. I'm really passionate about startups, like you know, and we're talking about, and I'm very, very passionate about music. And I think I personally believe that businesses and music are very powerful tools to create a huge platform to reach out to as many people as you want to.
Okay, so do you think it's essential for entrepreneurs? I know you've converted your passion into a career, which is music, but do you think it's essential for entrepreneurs to have something which can help them really sort of switch off from the day?
I think so, I would say, but again, to each his own. To each his own. Some people like to remain in that thought process. Like, I have days where I come back from work and I don't like to get out of thinking of that one idea, or I don't like to get out of thinking about how to solve that one problem. So in that case, I wouldn't want to divert my mind. But I think most of the days, I think it's good to have hobbies and a gamut of things that you can do beyond just the businesses, because I think it's important to give your mind a break.
So we started this conversation by sort of talking about whether age has been an advantage, boon
Sure.
or a challenge for you. I want to talk about whether being a woman entrepreneur has really been something that has, you would say, maybe changed some things about it. And what do you think about your fellow women entrepreneurs, and any advice you might have for them?
So I'm not going to lie, I think that there's a long way to go in terms of equality, but I stand for equality. I don't think that women need to be put on a pedestal, because we have it within us. It's just that it's all about equality. I think men and women both have their own traits, and it's all about equality. When it comes to women empowerment in a sense, right? Women entrepreneurs in a sense, I think it is tougher, for sure it is tougher, because of many different reasons. Something as small as having to leave office at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. maybe is much easier for a man than a woman. So even something as small as that. But at the end of the day, I think it's all about how one tackles the situation. So I think you can make it an advantage as well. It's really about how you manage yourself in the situation.
Okay, so my last question to you then. So you started really early in terms of your ventures. You've done microfinance. You've done retail. You're looking at a career in music. What are the next few years looking like, or is it you take each day as it comes?
No, the next few years is just pursuing my music and my businesses, and really trying to ace both of those. I think ace is the wrong word. Really trying to evolve my art. I would say that business is an art, a science and a craft, entrepreneurship. And music, I would say, is, predominantly it's an art. You're an artist. So I hope to continue to evolve. I hope to continue to make great music. I hope to that the two businesses continue to perform well. I hope that I'm able to reach out to as many people as possible and just make a positive change and continue to spread the love.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll feature tech and training corporate solutions as well as tuition. Welcome back. You're with us here on the Leaders of Tomorrow, and tonight on Bright Sparks, we're featuring tech and training, corporate solutions and tuition. Now, most people bring in the new year with a long list of resolutions, and not far behind are corporate companies looking to reinvent themselves. If your resolution this year is to be a more tech-savvy company, look no further than comprehensive training provided by entrepreneur Pradeep Pardeshi from Tech and Training Corporate Solutions. Shubhangi Sinha caught up with him to bring you the MSME's best practices to adopt technology as far as your companies are concerned.
Demonetization, long queues, online transactions. Going digital is the present-day mantra, and a digital India seems to be no longer a distant dream. In such a scenario, the need of the hour is to create a technically skilled workforce that can take this challenge head-on. And to bridge this skill gap is the very dynamic Pradeep Pardeshi, founder of Mumbai-based Tech and Training Corporate Solutions. Battling physical challenges, he has managed to train over 100 companies across the globe in a span of 8 years.
Why would you say that technical training is so important for employees to be valuable to their company?
See, there are people, they are good with knowledge of their own domain. But the problem is when it comes to computer, I have seen people, they find, most of them do not even realize that this is a problem or this is the struggle that they are doing. So the problem is the job in today's corporate world, every person has to spend at least 2 hours on these tools. And if you spend more than the time that it should ideally take, then you're wasting your time as well as your company's time.
There are many online platforms present which offer the similar kind of technical trainings and often for free. In such a scenario, how does your company manage to stay relevant?
See, those things are virtual. They have their own set format to learn. So if you want to learn 10 things, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But what if I as a person or learner comes up with a question? Who is going to solve their questions? They do have the online portal as well, which helps to answer those questions, but they may not be instant answer. They may not have the answers to those questions instantly. So in such cases, what do we do is these real training program or personal training program that we provide in most of the organizations helps them to understand the concept, to get the answers to their questions, because we believe mostly in problem solving.
Now, MSMEs and startups may not always have the funds to invest in extensive training programs. How do you think a company like you can then help MSMEs and startups?
See, when it comes to funds, to learn or gain the knowledge, it doesn't require to have funds. If you educate your people to learn simple things which are easily available in the market or maybe on Google, they can do their own research. Now, how do we come into picture is when it comes to conducting the training program of these organizations, we, despite a lot of advanced things in the market, we also focus on basic things. So in order to get the company well skilled, what can they do is they need not spend the entire, they need not outsource the entire training program to the companies like us. They can get some key people trained in the organization, and then those people will train their own employees internally.
At Tech and Training Solutions, each training session is customized carefully to focus on the specific technical skills required by the clients to ease out everyday jobs at work and in turn increase employee efficiency.
Now, you've been in the training industry for about 8 years. How do you think that the landscape has changed?
In these 8 years, I've seen a lot of things are changing. Because of this IT infrastructure, most of the modules are going online, which actually is a very good thing happening, because as a learner, I don't need to hunt a lot in the market. I don't need to travel. It saves cost. It saves time. So having these online portal, it becomes very easier for a person to learn. For the companies like us, it is another opportunity to reach out to people who we don't know at all.
While setting up your company, what is the biggest challenge that you've had to face?
In order to grow in today's era, it becomes very difficult for smaller companies to maintain the resources that you have, key resources, to upgrade our knowledge. Technology is changing real fast. Every 3 months we get to hear something new has come up and we have to upgrade ourselves. If you don't upgrade yourself, you will definitely lag behind the rest of the people. So we have to update our knowledge. That is also a very good thing as well as challenging thing to keep up the pace with the environment which is going around.
Taking a leaf from your personal entrepreneurial journey, would you say that it is particularly difficult for someone with a physical disability to make a space for themselves in a corporate setup?
I believe that these are not challenges, these are the opportunities, because we call those as challenge. If I am struggling to get something, I will say that this is a very challenging thing for me. But I look at it as, once I overcome that challenge, the opportunity is there which is waiting for me. So a person like me need not do anything different from the people, those who do good work. They just need to be consistent, they need to be hard work as well as smart work, and they need to be focused.
With an undying spirit and a strong resolve to transform corporate training in India, Pradeep Pardeshi's venture stands testimony to the power of perseverance and hard work.
Tonight on Bright Sparks, we have an artist who creates art through ice cream with the use of unique shapes, bright colors and brush strokes. Toshin Shetty makes desserts look nothing less than $1 million painting. Paulami Mukhopadhyay went to this master chef for a master class on cool desserts and innovation in the hospitality space.
Resolution number 412. Lose fat and avoid desserts. One fine morning, I met this man, an artist, a designer, and a creator of what makes or breaks any meal: dessert. Born into a family of restaurateurs, Toshin Shetty wanted to bring artisanal desserts in India and launched Toshin, chocolatier patissier, in 2015. I got invited to his kitchen to witness his finest dessert creation in the making and learn how desserts are not just decadent but healthy as well.
So I'm making one of my pastries called Scarlet for you today. So we have some white chocolate, whipping cream, then raspberry puree, then custard powder. Now this is the raspberry puree. So once we put the cream in the chocolate, the temperature goes down. We have a raspberry mousse. Now almost the mousse is ready. Put it in the tray. Now I just need to level it. So we put in the jelly. This is a raspberry jelly. You put a bit of jelly in the center. So you pipe it on the sides first. Now you put it in the sponge. Now you put it back in the freezer.
So talking about desserts, your dessert look like a fine piece of art on a plate. So when it comes to choice of colors, the mix of flavors and balancing everything, including design on a dish, what are the top 3 things that you keep in mind?
For me, the most important part is the flavors. Like flavors should go well with each other. So I start with the flavors of a dessert. Once the flavors are balanced, then I decide upon the construction of a dessert. Then it comes on the final presentation of a dessert. Then comes in the colors and the textures on the exterior of a dessert, how it should play. And for me, it's like a plate is like a canvas. And like I try to keep my plate like always white. I love it that way, so that the focus is on the dessert.
Do you think technique, content, ingredients and equipment play a very important role in creating that kind of a dessert? Is it safe to say that dessert making is not actually a poor man's job, because the kind of need and the requirement it has, it's very difficult to get that finesse on a plate when it comes to creating a dessert?
Technique is the most important part while making any kind of food. Like if your techniques are right, your product is going to be right. Yes, equipment gives you an upper hand to create the finesse of the dessert, and equipments are expensive, so yes, it's difficult for everyone to do it, but yeah, if you're willing to do it, you can accomplish anything, like to create a dessert.
Young master chefs who are looking at your profile, who are aspiring to learn from people like you, what are the 3 tips do you want to give them? What is the 3 mantras that can readily take them to the success that they're dreaming of?
When I was in college, I used to see my fellow batchmates and everyone. I noticed one thing. Everyone, when a chef is teaching you all, they generally look at a recipe and the technique. and the college is trying to teach you a technique and not the recipe. Recipe is just numbers and ingredients. If you know the technique, you can play with the numbers and the ingredients the way you want. You eat every day, so try to remember what you eat. Make it a cautious effort when you eat, and you'll remember flavors. Remembering flavors will help you create new products. And the third thing is, whenever you're making a product, like supposedly a cookie, so try to eat the cookie from the raw stage to the cooked form, so you know where you've gone wrong.
So when it comes to accomplishing everything, pricing actually plays a major role in this. Do you think it was a strategy for you to cater to niche audience since your pricing is majority wise a premium pricing?
For me, like most of the ingredients, like I import, and it works out expensive. So my margins are not that much. I have tried to give the best what I could, given the pricing what I have laid down, and quality is also there. So yes, it's gonna be a bit expensive.
I have a small rapid fire round for you, and you need to give me answers very quickly, straight
Okay.
from the heart.
Okay.
Food or dessert?
Food,
Okay. Presentation or flavor?
flavor,
Chocolates or fruits?
chocolates,
It's a no-brainer. Quality over pricing.
quality.
Last one, customer satisfaction or fame and recognition?
Customers are satisfied, you'll get fame and recognition.
Toshin's Dessert Boutique flaunts various sweet sensations starting from mesmerizing macaroons, handcrafted pralines, crunchy cookies and a variety of artisanal desserts. If your desire is death by chocolate, this place will give you exactly that, one dessert at a time.
If this kind of dessert is up for grabs, then my resolution need to take a chill pill for at least another year.
Well, that wraps up this episode of The Leaders of Tomorrow. Do remember that if you have any queries about any aspect of your business or you want to get in touch with us, you can write in to us at leadersoftomorrow@timesgroup.com. You can reach out on social media using the hashtag LOT. You can tweet at me personally. My Twitter handle is Sunanda_J, or call us on that number you see on your screen. We promise to have all your queries answered. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. Flashing on the screen. We promise to have all your queries answered. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.